Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I have a guest on representing one of the nonprofit organizations in our community, so stay tuned for my interview coming up in just a moment. Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have the pleasure of sitting down with a gentleman that is from LaGrange, but not necessarily from LaGrange, but he lives here in LaGrange now. I am sitting down with the Director of Development for the Calumet Center for Healing and Attachment, Kevin Goodson. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alton. I appreciate you having me today.
Well, it's a pleasure to sit down with you. Now, Kevin, I want you to kind of clean up this. You're from LaGrange, but not necessarily from LaGrange. Go ahead and clean that up for us if you don't mind.
Well, I graduated from True Pine in 1989, and then I went away and lived in Tallahassee for a long time. And when I came back, it's kind of interesting. I met a lady, and she looked at me and she said, "Well, you're not from here, are you?" And I said, "Well, I graduated from True Pine in '89." And she said, "Well, what elementary school did you go to?" And I had to admit that I actually went to elementary school up in Smyrna. So although I consider LaGrange my hometown, I'm just not native born.
Okay, so. All right. Well, good. Well, welcome to LaGrange anyway, Kevin.
Thank you.
And Kevin, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're from Smyrna, but tell us a little bit about yourself if you don't mind.
Well, I'm the Director of Development for the Calumet Center for Healing and Attachment. I also work with several different other nonprofits in the area. I work with the Accountability Troop as the president, and I'm also serve on the board of the Lafayette Society for the Performing Arts as well.
Okay, very good.
I live a full life here and really enjoy it. Love the community.
Well, very good, very good. And Kevin, you say you're the director for Calumet Center for Healing and Attachment. Talk a little bit about what is that and
being a development director involves a lot of relationships with donors, but also marketing in the community, talking about the message of Calumet Center and what we actually do. Our mission is to heal families by empowering women and their children to thrive in recovery. And we do this through a residential program, but what a lot of people don't know is we have an outreach program that actually services the entire community. So if you've experienced trauma or have had addiction issues, please reach out to us. We will help you. And right now, as of this moment, our services are free of charge.
Oh, my.
So, and I don't know if anybody's ever priced out counseling services, but they're pretty expensive. So we want to help those that need it.
Okay. Then you say, and you know, when you talk about counseling, and we talk about last year and the things that people went through, you know, with the COVID and you know, maybe had lost loved ones, family members, various things. How important is it, in your opinion, Kevin, that people get counseling?
Well, the first thing I can tell you is that this is Mental Health Awareness Month for May. This is an important time for each and every one of us to check in with ourselves and with our friends and family to make sure that everybody's okay. And if you're hearing a problem, listen to them. That's really the most important thing you can do. It's kind of like the 911 for mental health, is to actually listen and respond. But counseling and therapy, particularly those with post-traumatic stress disorder from either having lost a loved one or something that they've experienced in their childhood, the brain rewires itself during that time. And so what we do Emdr Therapy, which helps the brain unwire and start prioritizing more positive emotions and memories rather than the ones that are negative. The brain is a magical thing. It will do things to help protect you. And unfortunately, sometimes those things don't get undone. And so we're here to help you. Mental health is not something that is just people's thoughts. It is it's a physiology. It is a symptom of what your body is able to do. And so, you know, everyone should you know, be aware of themselves. If you're having depressive thoughts, suicidal thoughts, reach out immediately, talk to someone, give us a call. We're anonymous. We will help any individual that needs it. So please, because right now we're seeing a big increase in the number of people that need help. And I think it's just because of what we've all gone through. You're not alone. You're not alone.
Well,
promise.
Very good. Kevin, if you don't mind, go ahead and give them a contact number if you don't mind.
If you need services, contact us at 706-416-2825.
Okay. All right. 706-416-2825.
2825.
Very good. Now, on a lighter note, we want to kind of change that because definitely, and thank you for bringing the attention to Mental Awareness Month, and we definitely want to make sure that we can concentrate and get some guests on to talk about that more in detail because I think at some point all of us perhaps need to go and sit down and talk with someone,
right?
And just have that someone to listen to us. One of the things that you all are doing through the Calumet Center now is having a derby that's going to be coming up pretty soon. Talk to us about that, Kevin, if you don't mind.
Well, Alton, the Ducks are coming to LaGrange.
The Ducks are coming
to LaGrange. I hope everyone has seen on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, I hope everyone's seen us reaching out to you. This is a benefit for the Calumet Center for Healing and Attachment, but it's also a community awareness event too. We are planning on putting 5,000 rubber ducks into the Highland Pines Resort and Marina area there, and we're going to race them across in a specially designed racetrack, 5,000 rubber ducks, and the first duck to cross the finish line that's been adopted by a community member, the winner will receive $2,500. We also have some other great prizes. We've got a couple of gift certificates to Curls and Honey Salon. We've got some a gift certificate to Kitty Couture. We also have a year's supply of Chick-fil-A as our second place prize. And that's 52 weeks of one Chick-fil-A sandwich, which is fantastic. So it's going to be a great day, and you can adopt a duck by going to westgeorgiaduckderby.com. They're $5 per duck, or for larger packages, you'll pay less per duck. So the community can just check it out. Also, Alton, as part of that, we are pledging, this is kind of a kickoff party for the next 12 months, we are pledging to inspire 5,000 conversations between parents and their children about living their best drug-free life. On the event day, which is May 15th, at 10 a.m. at the Highland Pines Resort and Marina. On the event day, we'll be passing out conversation guides to parents. The conversation, and we'll ask the parents to sign the Don't Duck the Problem pledge. And that is, I'm going to have a conversation with my kid about drugs and how it's important, what all they're going to miss out on if they head down that path. And I know we've had I know you probably were connected to a great drug education program.
There to keep kids off of drugs.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. So unfortunately, we just don't do a lot of that these days. The focus is on criminal justice reform and on marijuana legalization and all these other things, but we've forgotten how to talk to kids, and I think that's the best alternative of any alternative. Is just talk to kids about them.
Absolutely, it's therapeutic. Once again, going back to the mental health, because so many times we tell kids don't do this, don't do that, but we don't take it a step further and tell them why. Right. As you mentioned about what are the consequences, and what is it doing to you health-wise, or what is it doing to you mentally or physically? All those various things that go along with just say don't do that.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes the consequences can be scary, especially for the smaller kids. So the way that you talk about it's really important. Like we can say, well, drugs can affect your brain. I know you remember this is drugs, this is your brain on drugs, any question. But in reality, you can talk to the kids about when you don't do drugs, your brain stays healthy. Your brain is sharp, it's active, and that's what you want to have in your life. So it's how you talk to the kids. It's really important.
Absolutely, absolutely. Nick, and you say that, Kevin, I think right now your programming is geared more toward women and children. Is that correct?
That's correct, for our residential program.
For the residential program.
And I don't know if you know or not, but we just recently were gifted. Bill and Karen Scarborough gave us the Time Away Bed and Breakfast, and so we're moving our residential program into that facility. But as part of our services, we offer outreach, and that's for women, men, children, all of it. So if you are struggling, please just give us a call, 706-416-2825. give us a call and we will help you.
Okay. Now, then, will they get an appointment to come over and to talk with?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Right.
And for our residential program, we do require the women to actually have completed primary treatment because you have to get past the drugs first before you can actually deal with the mental health issues. Yeah. So if that's the case, we have an application you fill out for residential. But don't let that scare anyone away from actually giving us a call. If someone is actively using, we can help them. We will find a primary treatment program for them.
Okay.
So
Very good. And Kevin, we talk about mental health and loneliness is another aspect of mental health. I was talking with a friend of mine, and as people start to age, sometimes they kind of start to get those depression, that lonely feeling. Is that something that you all also can cater to as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I know that we've just been through probably one of the greatest periods of isolation that we've had, certainly in our lifetime. And so because of that's had some negative impacts, but also what's had a negative impact is getting back out into the community after that. Yes. Your brain, like I said, it adapts, and so it will begin thinking differently. It will talk to you a lot more than you typically notice because you don't have all the distractions.
That's right.
And I don't know about you, but a lot of times when people sit still for periods of time, negative thoughts and emotions start rising up. We can say that that's a bad thing, but actually that may be a good thing because that may be some key indicators of where you need to work on your life, and we are a Christian organization. It may be some key indicators to some areas spiritually that you need to address as well. Okay. So, step one is to never get to the point where you're in crisis mode. So reach out to your friends, family, talk to them. If there are folks that are still shut in right now, it's important you get on the phone. It's important that you participate in those Zoom calls. It's important that you do everything you can to reach out to other people. And and when you start emerging from it, it becomes a little painful. But take it easy. Take it one step at a time. Give us a call if it's just unbearable. I mean, I had to go through some therapy after this last shutdown myself because I realized, man, I'm not thinking right. I'm a gentleman that lives by himself, and so it became very isolated for me. So, but we're here to help in any way we can. So reach out.
All right, very good. Well, Kevin, if you don't mind, just give us a recap about the Ducks coming to town. So tell us that date and location and how they can get involved.
So it's the Great West Georgia Duck Derby, and you can visit westgeorgiaduckderby.com in order to adopt ducks. It's going to be Saturday, May 15th at 10 a.m. We'll be launching the ducks at 11, but we got some festivities prior to it, and we'll have the announcement of the winners at noon. So 10 a.m. to noon, Saturday, May 15th.
All right. Well, Kevin, I'm sure that's going to be quite an event. This is the first, right?
The first one.
To be the first one. So 5,000 ducks will be released, and I guess you're going to have them color-coded somehow or another.
They all are going to have individual tags on them. In fact, we're actually putting those on this weekend. So 5,000 tags on 5,000 ducks. That's a lot of tagging.
Yeah, so you probably need some volunteers to know that, right?
We're doing a duck tagging party. Unfortunately, and I have to give a shout out to some folks, the Chatty women of LaGrange are fantastic. They've been helping us out. So I just want to say hey to the Chatties. Okay. But yeah, we've got some folks coming this weekend to help us out with that. And so should be easy to figure out who wins.
There you go. Okay, yeah. Well, very good. Well, I noted that the community will come out, as they always do. It's a very giving community, and it's for a great cause, the Calumet Center for Healing and Attachment. And Kevin, I want to thank you for coming on and being my guest today, and definitely want to have you come back on so we can continue to have dialogue and continue to get your services out to our community, because I know that, as you stated, having come through the year that we just come out of, I'm sure there's a lot of people that need conversation at this point.
Absolutely, Alton. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week coming up in just a moment.
There's too much litter in this town, and we at the City of LaGrange are helping to pick it up.
Every month, there's a litter pickup event held in a different part of the city. Volunteers and city employees are dedicated to leaving LaGrange better than we found it.
So come out to our next event and find out how good it feels to help your community.
And maybe together we can make 2021 the cleanest year yet.
I love LaGrange. It's not a big city. So working as a police officer, you get kind of to know everybody, know the streets, know where all the hot spots are so you can keep an eye on them, interact with everybody so everybody knows you. So to me, LaGrange is the perfect size city to work for, especially if you're working for a police department.
One thing that separates the LaGrange Police Department from other agencies is our pay. We're one of the highest paying agencies around.
Making contact with the community, helping others, being an ambassador to the city and for the city. It was an excellent department to work for. And those who've been with the police department for a certain amount of time are able to take home a car. It is a great benefit to the officer as well.
If you have a chance to go to school, like I have a bachelor's degree, and if I want to go and get my master's, they will put you to school to progress yourself. So it's a great place if you want to progress, if you want to get promoted.
There are several opportunities to grow in the LaGrange Police Department. Great group of men and women that has a common goal to protect the city and cut back on crime.
When you get here, you're treated like a brother or sister, and you're going to have older officers or generations that are going to take you in up under their wings, and they're going to actually teach you what you need to know.
We're CALIA certified. CALIA is the national standard for police departments.
Our chief is the former president of CALIA and a former president of the Chief Association. So we are held on a higher standard than other departments. It makes a lot of difference to work for LaGrange Police Department.
We do a lot of community outreach. With that, I think that we're making a difference in our community, showing a lot of support to our citizens, so they're giving us the same support that we're trying to give them. We have Paw Day. We bring the community together and let them see our dogs and interact with the dogs and do a lot of demonstrations. We also have a national night out where the department gets together with the community and we bring citizens out, let them see what different venues that we have set up for them to be engaged in.
Our Citizens Police Academy held at the training center, that's something that would inform people about all the questions they have when it comes to law enforcement.
We have the bike unit that you can join, the K9 unit. We have ESU, which is basically our SWAT team. Drug investigations, CID, community outreach unit, SIU. There's plenty of opportunities, especially being young coming in and getting started.
So whatever you're looking for a great opportunity and turn it into a career, LaGrange Police Department is the place for you.
Thank you for joining City Week this week. My guests have been from the Calumet Center for Healing and Attachment. I had on the Director of Development, Kevin Goodson, as he talked about the upcoming Great West Georgia Duck Derby that will be held on May 15th at the Highland Pines Resort and Marina starting at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. So by all means, make sure that you go out and get you a duck to get in the race. You may just win. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed these interviews. And as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.